Welcome back. We're still in conversation with the Minister of Basic Education, Mama Angie Motshekga. Well, before the ad break, she touched a bit about the Second Chance Programme. However, what I would like us to talk about now is some of the challenges learners tend to face within the school environment. The class of 2017 now is readying themselves to sit down for their year-end exams. And this would be the second group that sits down to write under the CAPS syllabus. How have learners across the country responded to CAPS?
I think the system has responded well generally, because when you introduce a change in the curriculum, it normally has lots of hitches and difficulties, and the group of 2016 did show that the curriculum is well embedded in the system. So I don't expect too much problems in group 2017. So because from lower grades, so I'm not expecting too much problems. I think there are, obviously, curriculum can be perfect. There will be areas where our curriculum experts, teachers, also highlight, bambana panqinse apha. One of the things we've had to do was to align our assessment throughout the grades, because you find that with senior phase, we had different assessment criteria, and then we FET phase go metric different with senior. So in the last CM, we just streamlined the entire assessment system. So there are all those things, because a new curriculum, but generally, I think it's already settled quite well.
Okay. Now, we've also, as of late, we've seen a number of a high rate of violence within our schools. And as the department, what processes do you have in place to curb the level of violence?
You know, those reports and those videos that have been coming have been really saddening and disappointing, bearing in mind that almost 20 years back we outlawed corporal punishment. And we also monitor corporal punishment. We have statistics, for instance, which reveal that Gauteng and Western Cape have amongst, not that it's not there, have amongst the lowest levels of corporal punishment, 20 and 14 and 14% in Gauteng. KZN in particular has almost 70% of learners who reported corporal punishment. We follow up, we do all we can. We had to do like expelling teachers, taking them to DC and all sorts of things, but that doesn't stop them from doing it. So we had a very lengthy meeting with MECs to say, despite the law and the measures we've put in place, corporal punishment still continues. What is our understanding? We really brainstormed and said we also then have to really commission a further study to say, why are teachers still continuing corporal punishment despite the law, despite also the training, retraining, reorientation, advocates against corporal punishment. And some of the MECs said it's also maybe we're not giving also adequate support to teachers who are confronted also by challenging environments in school where kids bring drugs, bring dangerous weapons. So they depict the violence that is outside the school. They bring gangsterism in schools. And perhaps teachers find it difficult to cope without necessarily justifying the fact that we have serious cases of corporal punishment reported. And we felt that perhaps we need more support for teachers, more retraining for them to really train them that in a situation of a confrontation, they must de-escalate the crisis. So you don't go toe-to-toe with children, eyeball to eyeball. You just don't do that. But you find a way of de-escalating without necessarily showing any weakness. Still really dealing with the conflict in a peaceful manner, but not, as I say, being weak also in the face of ill discipline.
What roles do SGBs also have they can play in our schools?
They have a very important role, because SGBs, the parent part represents the parents. So when parents are not around, your parent part of the school governing body is supposed to stand in the place of the parent and do the work that needs to be done on behalf of the parents, either to report incidents, support schools, support learners, but also support the parents of the learners in the school. That's a responsibility. Again, I think because we're going for new elections of SGBs, we've also said SGBs have to be also trained thoroughly to make sure that they do understand their responsibilities and they indeed support parents, learners and teachers in schools.
Your message to the class of 2017?
I'm saying it's their year. I mean, if you are writing matric,
yes, to those that are writing
it's your year. It's a make or break. your future is just here. You're just at the cusp of great things in life. Don't allow anything, pleasure, time, sleep, laziness, to stand on your way, because if you succeed, you'll celebrate for the rest of your life. So I'm really appealing to them. Do whatever it takes to give it your best shot, and don't necessarily allow anything. And I really wish them the best.
All the best.
I wish them all the best, and say to parents, "Awan, kanishenxeni ni niphekele utata benu Motshekga ukutya nizenzele iti, nizivasele iwashing yenu, amantombazana amna wayekafunda unyaka wabo."
Yes.